What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. It is the 29th day of March, and here we are sitting at about $479 with roughly 10 hours and 43 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Bitcoin Cash continues to tease us, doesn't it? As we get up here each time, since the middle of March, we've been tempted with this thought that we will break out and see rapid expansion to this $540, $520, maybe even beyond that price area, right? At least I've been tempted. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to ride the green dragon, man. I think we're ready to go. We do have a flat top here with ascending lows. This temptation is only getting stronger as time goes on. And even though it seems as though right here we're doing the same thing that we did last time and the time before, I want to go over why I think that's not true. And I think we can easily see that in the short-term stuff. So let's get into the short-term stuff. Here we are. 1 hour time frame here. We can see these other 2 points that we were here. Do you guys already see what I'm going for? You probably already know what I'm going to say, right? Here, let's do it in another sense, right? Here, you found resistance pretty immediately. Here you found resistance pretty immediately, you found resistance again, and then here you kind of lingered. So what'd you do? In this same area that you were finding resistance rather immediately, you broke through, you pushed through. Kind of a little hint as to what's going on here, right? We found resistance right there. We found resistance right there very immediately. But here, notice how it's a little bit different, right? We're kind of consolidating. Different behavior begets different results. Not always, but most of the time. And I wouldn't be surprised if going into this next week, maybe even finishing out this week, maybe by the end of today, we were pushing prices that are above these high points here. Now, if we have to return back down here, if we need to get the higher low going and we pull back down below 470, okay, fine, do it, whatever. I'm not going to be excited about it. I'd rather be excited about this, but whether it happens now or it happens later, I have a feeling it's going to be just as exciting. I wanted to use a different word, but just as relieving to get up to these levels whenever it does happen, inevitably. Looking at this here on the crypto chart, I don't know why I'm on the crypto chart for Bitcoin Cash. We should be on the Coinbase chart, because the crypto chart doesn't have volume, but it's the same historical data that Coinbase has, because Coinbase is the oldest chart for it. Anyways, I mean, you can see it here. It's clear as day. We're doing the same thing here that we did on this candle. The very first 20 minutes, we dropped down, no volume at all. We came back up. There's no volume here, guys. We got 41 minutes left. I mean, to be fair, it's actually, there's a little bit of volume, to be fair. It doesn't look like a lot of volume, but we're basically at the average level of volume for this 1 hour time frame that we've seen, and it's only 20 minutes in, so you got to imagine over the next 40 minutes we probably will have a solid spike here. My thoughts are, though, by the time a lot of you watch this, and probably by the time I'm done with this video, we'll be back above 481, probably. And I do think we're just getting ready to break out, whether that's today, Sunday the 29th, or tomorrow the 30th, whatever. The RSI, struggling to get overbought, man. We're getting there, we're getting into it a little bit, but we're struggling. We're really trying to, and it's just not working out. We want to get some deep readings like this. Here at the 40, have we found support in this area before? It looks like we have, so not really worried about that, even if we close here. It is completely possible that this time is not a farce, that we do move down lower, that we don't wick back up like we did here. That's not my expectation at the moment, but it's possible. And if it were to happen, maybe 474, 465, somewhere in that area could be the expectation for us to go to. But again, that's really not that dramatic at all. If we go into this area, even if we go into these lower areas, it's not that dramatic at all. It's still a higher low, and likely we will prevail. So whether we're doing this right now, whether we're doing this right now, or we're coming down and then doing this right now, all paths will take us well above $500, okay? Soon enough. Likely, I mean, if not by the end of this month, which I wouldn't be surprised if we were above $500 by the end of March. If not by the end of this month, then certainly within the next week or two. I would be surprised if by the end of this next week, in that first opening days of April. I would be surprised if we weren't above $500 because I really do think that we're on the threshold right now, but anything can happen. Stochastics, the blue line is very far away from the orange line. You guys know how I feel about that. That makes me think that we're probably going to move back up. We're probably at a low point here. 38 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we close back up and left a big wick behind. We could even close this candle green. It'd be funny if people were watching this video and we were like, we just plummeted another like 10% before this hour closed. Looking at this here on the MACD, bullish overall. You were green for a very long time, so now you flipped red. Okay, you flipped red back here. You didn't really do anything up until now, up until this point. Your oscillators probably come down to the 0 and then bounce from there. That's probably what we're going to see. Maybe you go a little bit below the 0 even, and that's fine if you do. But I don't expect a cross to happen. If a cross does happen, then likely, yes, our worst dreams are realized and we will come down to find a higher low. But that's not what I'm calling for. Hi, Mufasa. I'll let you out. Just let me do this, okay? Okay, I love you. You're a good boy. 4 hour time frame here. I feel like it's obvious as well on the 4 hour. You can just see the different dynamics at play with these high points, right? It's like a focal point here. It's like an area that you're just chilling at. And really what we're doing is finding support here at these prior areas of resistance. Where we found sharp resistance, we're actually now living up here and finding support, not just on this 4 hour candle, but on this one as well, right at the prior areas of resistance. It makes me hopeful, not discouraged. RSI, it's like it wants to be bullish, but reluctantly so. Anything could happen. We could come back down. It's possible, but I think we're closer to a breakout into the overbought zone than anything. And typically when you get in the overbought zone, that does go in line with a breakout. So if we get overbought, we're going to be breaking out of this phase here and moving higher. Stochastics are bullish. They can come down, bounce off the 50, still be bullish. They can come out of the oversold zone, come back into the overbought zone, still be bullish. Maybe we come all the way down, and if we do that again, that's where that higher low kind of comes into play, but we're still bullish overall no matter what happens. I think that this is a very clear sign, too, that things are different. Whenever we were up here, we weren't overbought. When we were up here before, it was like we were in and out. Here, we're living in it. We're living in it a little bit more than these other times. The MACD, it's not really going to be helpful. It does look bullish at the moment, but I'm not really impressed by it too much. It's very volatile and sideways, so we're probably not going to get a solid reading off of that. Daily time frame here. You know, I got to admit, I thought that the RSI, whenever it came down here, I thought that was kind of a bearish look. There was even a point, I think, on that day. Let me see here. Hold on. Yeah, I think whenever I made my video on this day, we were at a lower point. So the RSI itself looked like it was breaking out of this trend. But overall, it held that trend. We did break out of it a little bit. It took a bearish shape multiple times throughout this this little configuration right here. This little like sideways choppy price action, or reading action. It's not price, it's the RSI. You took multiple chances to show your bearish hand, and you waved that away. So I think here we are going to move up as well. We have this overall W shape in the RSI, and I think that will take us to the overbought zone. The real question for me isn't which direction we're going to break out. I'm very confident we break out to the upside. It's possible that we could break out to the downside, but I don't have confidence in that, nor would I bet on that. That's not my expectation. Anything could happen. But the real question isn't that. I'm very convinced that we're going to move up. The question is, how high are we going to move up? Because from here, I do feel like I'm being conservative saying 550 to 520. I feel like I'm being conservative by saying that 540 is kind of right here, smack dab where there's resistance and support. We might see a move that takes us all the way up above $600. And I was saying this yesterday. We literally might be in the process of a move right here that when we break out, we go above $600. We don't even spend much time in that $500 range. And with that, if we're doing something like that, it might not even be long that we're in the $600 range before we're at the $700 range. Like, we really could see something stupendous happen here. And just because we don't, just because we stop here doesn't make it any less nice to see the price move up, right? We can slow but steady move up. That can happen too. I'm just curious as to how fast this movement up will be, because the movement down here was fast. The movement up here was fast. The movement down here was fast. The movement up here was fast. The movement down here, up here. You see, it was all very fast. We're in this environment, in this area where we have made fast movements. So I'm just kind of curious to see what plays out for us. In this sense of a high to a low overall, the golden ratio is all the way up at 570 to 591. We've already interacted with it once. We've already, from a high to a low, interacted with it once. We don't have to stop here. We do not have to stop at the golden ratio. It's not as significant resistance as it normally is. It still is significant. It's just not as significant. We really might just move all the way up to 620 to 650. And that would be cool. But I don't have anything else to say. We'll see how big this green dragon is in probably a few days, if I had to guess. Hit that like button, subscribe. Well, maybe not in a few days, maybe in a couple weeks. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.